The former policy advisor to the New South Wales Premier has given evidence to a parliamentary inquiry into pork barrelling by the state government before the last election. Kenny Hickley is at State Parliament for us. Kenny, this former and also current policy advisors to Gladys Berejiklian have now blamed each other over what's being labelled a Liberal Party slush fund.
Yes, that's right, Ash. It's all over this 252 Stronger Communities Fund, which the Premier has been accused of using as a Liberal Party slush fund to buy the last election, with 95% of the funds going to coalition-held seats in mostly the 9 months leading up to the last election. Now, we've heard today from the former policy advisor to the Premier, Mr Crocker. In an earlier session of this parliamentary inquiry, we've heard from the senior policy advisor to the Premier, Sarah Lau, who admitted to shredding the documents which would show how and why these funds were distributed to the councils they were distributed to, but also who was basically in charge and making the decisions around where these funds were going to. And the Premier has been accused of personally approving at least $140 million of that Stronger Communities Fund. Now, earlier, Sarah Lau made the comments that the $90 million given to Hornsby Council was advised to her by a former policy advisor, Mr Crocker, who also gave her some documents provided by Hornsby Council outlining its financial situation had been negatively affected. Before the inquiry started, I caught up with the Labor representative in the inquiry, John Graham.
No one wants to own this scheme. One of the questions that'll be put to the former policy director is, was he the architect of this scheme to send out hundreds of millions of dollars, $252 million of public funds?
Now, in the documents that have been recovered since then, in late November, following a forensic investigation, shows Mr Crocker's comments about on this Office of the Premier letterhead about $90 million given to the Hornsby Council. And also, Mr Crocker today in this inquiry said, well, this advice came from Sarah Lau, and also the final decision was from the Office of the Local Government.
Mr Crocker, what you have just told us contradicts evidence from Ms Lau and from Mr Hurst that has been provided to this committee. Do you understand that?
In which way, Ms Sousa?
Well, I read you the direct quote. The councils and the proposed funding splits were provided by you. Ms Lau has said the proposed funding splits were provided by you.
And I think I explained my advice on those funding splits.
These recovered documents, Ash, also show, they appear to show that public money was used to settle a dispute between two Liberal-held seats following failed amalgamations in the Parramatta Council and also the Hornsby Council. The inquiry continues today.